We Christians are supposed to be resident aliens, ambassadors. We represent the kingdom of God. We are residing in foreign nations. We are not politically involved. We are politically neutral. And so that makes good sense then of Paul's title for us in Galatians 6:16. He says that we who walk, or should walk, by the canon of love are the Israel of God, God's true Israel. This is an international group now, not the same as the Old Testament, where only the nation, physical nation of Israel were God's people. God used them to fight holy wars. He authorized them to kill and to fight, even aggressive wars. Quite the opposite under the New Covenant, because we're an international group now. There's no Israel of God that is fighting God's wars physically. Until, of course, we get to the second coming, and there things will change, where Jesus will authorize his followers actually to be involved in some violence. For the moment, we're the Israel of God, Galatians 6:16. In Ephesians chapter 2, we find that we were once, as non-Christians, alienated from the true Israel. But now, as converted people, we're part of the commonwealth of Israel. This will explain Paul's wonderful term then in Galatians 6:16, where the church is the international Israel of God, the spiritual Israel. And in contrast, in 1 Corinthians 10:18, Paul speaks of the Israel of the flesh, physical Israel. Unconverted Israel is contrasted with the Israel of the Spirit in Galatians 6:16. And in Philippians 3:3, we are said to be the true circumcision, spiritual circumcision, that is, not circumcision in the flesh. All of that makes perfectly good sense of our status, but it's a non-political status. Jesus made no attempt to change the political system. What he did was to call people out of that system to be a new people of God, just as we find here in 1 Peter 2, where the true people of God who have received mercy, but earlier had not received mercy, but now we are the people of God.